As I said, the first item this morning is a very special award for both the Board of County Commissioners and the people of Hillsborough County. It's our pleasure to present the inaugural Theodore Roosevelt Hillsborough Forever Conservation Award. This past January, the Board of County Commissioners unanimously approved the creation of this award to honor an individual or group dedicated to preserving the county's natural resources. The award is named in honor of the 26th President of the United States. Known as the nation's first conservationist president, Theodore Roosevelt placed more than 200 million acres under public protection and doubled the number of sites in the national park system. In 1906, President Roosevelt signed the National Monuments Act, protecting the Grand Canyon and preserving numerous wildlife sanctuaries, federal game preserves, and national forests. And it was through his efforts that Congress enacted the first laws to protect wildlife against poaching in Yellowstone National Park. Before we proceed, I want to thank members of the Jan K. Platt Environmental Lands Acquisition and Protection Program Subcommittee who made the nominations and recommended the finalists. We'd like to recognize the member who are in attendance today, which is Jan Smith, the chair of the ELAP General Committee, who was instrumental, by the way, in the conception of this award, Sally Thompson, Michael Newitt, Eileen Hart, Joel Jackson, Fred Webb, and Gus Munich. Would each of you please stand and be recognized? I also want to thank the staff members of our ELAP program and really appreciate each and everything that you do to help in the acquisition of these lands and the management of these lands. And if you would stand as well and be recognized. I know I see Ross Dickerson here. I don't know if we have any others, but there's Forrest back there. Didn't see you. Thank you guys so much. I don't see Gus Munich here this morning, but... Oh, there, Gus, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Did you stand? Yeah. Okay. I need to put my glasses on. Well, Mr. Munich, I would like to say some special words about you this morning. I've known you a long time, went to high school with your boys and everything. And I just want to once again point out that you have graciously given $20,000 of your own money to the ELAP program. And this generous gift not only shows your love for ELAP, but also your inspirational support of the Theodore Roosevelt Hillsborough Forever Conservation Award. And your moving donation will enable the recipients of this award each year to choose $2,000 worth of projects to be undertaken at a Hillsborough County nature area of their choice. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. So without further ado, I am pleased to announce the recipient of the 2017 Theodore Roosevelt Hillsborough Forever Conservation Award, and that's going to go to former Tampa Tribune opinion editor Joe Guidry. Mr. Guidry, will you please come forward? It's fitting that the first Theodore Roosevelt Hillsborough Forever Conservation Award goes to a Hillsborough County native who, through a newspaper career that spanned more than 45 years, helped mold public policy to protect and preserve our community's natural treasures and pristine places. A native of Tampa, Joe Guidry developed a love for journalism while earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Communications from the University of South Florida. After working as a sports reporter and news and state editor at the Tampa Times until its closure in 1982, Mr. Guidry was transferred to the Tampa Tribune. 2 years later, he was invited to join the Tampa Tribune editorial board, the newspaper's institutional voice on public policy and other matters of great importance. Mr. Guidry eventually was promoted to deputy editorial page editor. In 2008, he was elevated to opinion editor, overseeing all aspects of the editorial board's operations, a position he held until the Tribune ceased publication last May. During his decades on the Tribune editorial board, Mr. Guidry was Florida's foremost editorial writer on environmental issues and growth management. In the 1980s, he undertook a campaign to save Tampa Bay from pollution. His Saving the Bay series of more than 50 editorials passionately advocated for cleaning up and protecting this critically valuable body of water through surface water management improvement legislation in the Florida legislature, the selection of Tampa Bay to the National Estuary Program, and other initiatives. Additionally, Mr. Guidry vigorously championed the need to set aside environmentally sensitive land through the creation of our own Jan K. Platt Environmental Land Acquisition and Protection Program in the late 1980s. Subsequently, he passionately advocated for the people of Hillsborough County to renew the program, which is the largest of its kind in the state. In addition, Mr. Guidry strongly supported the state of Florida's Preservation 2000 Land Protection Program, now known as Florida Forever, and he was a tireless advocate for Florida's Land and Water Legacy Amendment, which Florida voters approved in 2014. Throughout his career, he continually stressed the need to properly manage development to protect the environment, especially our drinking water supplies, and drew a clear link between protecting natural resources and economic prosperity. Mr. Guidry, for decades you have performed a great public service to our community, and you meticulously and with great insight and passion chronicled the importance of the environment and conservation of Hillsborough County and our economy, as well as the Tampa Bay region and the state of Florida, inspiring countless individuals. To have achieved this in your home county must be immensely gratifying, and I know it is. Your work, dedication, and persistence embodies the spirit of the Theodore Roosevelt Hillsborough Forever Conservation Award. We are so grateful for all you have done for Hillsborough County and Florida, and it's an honor to present you with this award. And additionally, your name will be added to this perpetual plaque, which is on my right. It'll hang here in County Center. We have also framed a very nice photograph of some beautiful pine flatwoods in one of our ELAP preserves. Wow. So congratulations, and I'd love to have you say a few words.
Wow, thank you. I truly appreciate this honor and would like to thank all the commissioners. I've known each of you for a long time, and your recognition means a lot. I would particularly want to thank Chairman White, who proposed this award. I also would like to thank all the members of the selection committee. It is humbling to be chosen by a group of such distinguished environmental champions. In my book, they all deserve this award. And I thank some leaders who have been an inspiration. Former Commissioner Jan Platt has been a true hero for the environment, never hesitating to stand up to the influential and powerful. And as Tampa Mayor and Florida Governor, Bob Martinez initiated conservation and pollution cleanup programs that continue to benefit us. I need to thank all my publishers at the Tampa Tribune, from Red Pittman to Brian Burns, who provided me an editorial platform and who always had my back whenever the editorial department came under fire. I've often said I can't imagine a better job than writing editorials about what you care about in your hometown, and I am indebted to everyone at the Tribune who allowed me to do that for so long. I also want to thank all the editors and reporters who worked with me at the Tampa Tribune. Tom Arthur, I see some of them here today, and Byard Steele. They cover the news with such passion, diligence, and grit. I'm especially grateful to my longtime editorial colleague, William Yelverton, a terrific editor who astutely and patiently dealt with the drop words and other editing challenges I presented and stopped me from embarrassing myself countless times. Hillsborough County was wise to make him part of its team. And I appreciate the Florida Aquarium for enabling me to continue writing about conservation matters. Of course, I thank my friends and family, particularly my wife Lenore and son Tim, for all their support. The Tampa Tribune was known as the more conservative newspaper in the region, and we sometimes caught grief from some of our readers who thought our environmental stands were liberal. But I don't think there's anything conservative about squandering irreplaceable resources or creating costly problems that will have to be confronted in the future. There may be different ways to go about it, but conservation is so sensible, so responsible, that I think it should be embraced by everyone, regardless of their politics. And so I thank you again for this award, and more importantly, for promoting conservation in Hillsborough County. Thank you.
Joe, once again, thank you. Your service has made a lasting impact on our community, and we're so honored to recognize you today. Would any of my fellow commissioners like to speak?
I was just going to say, Mr. Chair, we have quite a few comments. Lights up on the board to honor our friend Joe Guidry. Commissioner Christ, you're first.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Joe, I see that your lovely wife and your son is here with us today as well. Your family's been a steadfast part of this community for as long as I can ever remember, and the quality of your journalism has always been superior. The thing to me that's important is I've been a resident of the area for over 50 years. I remember the days where you could see the gray soot on your white car from the stacks, the various chimneys, where you couldn't even drive down Bayshore Boulevard at low tide because the odor would curl your nose hairs. The work that you've done has had tremendous, tremendous impact, and the leadership that you've provided has had tremendous impact in changing our community to make it a much more pleasant place to live, work, and enjoy. Our economy has been affected because of the work that you and others have done. We have a wonderful place again, and your leadership has made a huge difference. And we thank you very, very much. I take my daughter to school. I just dropped her off at the academy on Bayshore, and I can't tell you how beautiful and how wonderful it is, thanks to people like you and Jan Platt and others who have led the way for us to have a wonderful place to live.
Thank you, Commissioner Christ. Commissioner Hagan.
Well stated, Commissioner Christ. I want to first of all thank our chairman, Commissioner White, for creating this award. I want to thank Jan Smith and the ELAP committee on making this fine recommendation. And Joe, I just want to say your passion for the environment and in preserving our environmentally sensitive lands is well documented and second to none. And I cannot think of a better recipient for this first ever conservation award. I know that you're going to still be involved in the community. I look forward to working with you. I know you're still going to make a tremendous impact, and it's an honor to call you my friend. And I say all those things not only as a Hillsborough County Commissioner, but also as a Rough Rider. So congratulations, Joe.
Thank you, Commissioner Hagan. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. I remember meeting Joe as a candidate many, many moons ago, walking into the Tribune, sweating profusely and knees knocking because I had to face the editorial board, not knowing what to expect as a first-time candidate. And Joe, because of his personality, eased those tensions, even in an interview with the editorial board. But besides all the things that Commissioner Christ and Commissioner Hagan have said about you, Joe, you and I belong to an exclusive club. That's cancer survivors. Because Joe called me one day and we had a long conversation about what he was getting ready to go through, because I'd been through it once already. And I talked to him the day that he said he's doing great, and I'm so glad to hear that, Joe, that you're doing great. And I'll continue to pray for you that you stay cancer-free and have a long, long life and continue to work in this community, whether you're writing or just relaxing and becoming a lawn chair advocate in your retirement. So congratulations.
Thank you, Commissioner Miller. Commissioner Kemp.
Yes, thank you. I'd also like to thank Chairman White for bringing forward with this award. I think it's really important that we recognize the, as Joe Guidry said, the distinguished champions in our community for their work on behalf of the environment. I'd also like to thank the ELAP committee, one of the concerns I had was that the ELAP committee was choosing the award winners, and I thought, oh, there's so many of them that deserve this award themselves, and so I can appreciate you are a distinguished champion among distinguished champions, and thank you so much for your words over the decades and advocacy in the Tampa Tribune for making this community a wonderful place and in bringing that awareness of the environment and what we should be doing here to protect and preserve it. So thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner White. Everybody has said everything, but Joe, I would tell you, I have the deepest respect for you and have over the years. We haven't always agreed on everything, but that's how respect grows for an individual, because you can still see eye to eye and talk and come to a conclusion. And that's what I think your legacy here is, just so profound. And no one, even though the Tribune is not standing anymore, you are. And I think that's what's, for me, is important in this legacy that you leave here in our county. So I thank you very, very much. And thank you, Commissioner White, for doing this and doing this award and bringing it forward. So that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Merman, and I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge some current and former elected officials that Joe has with him this morning. Our tax collector, Doug Belden, our supervisor of elections, Craig Latimer, and of course, Governor Bob Martinez. It's a real honor to have you here. So at this time, I would like to invite them and of course, Joe's lovely wife and son and all of his family, friends, and supporters to come forward for a photo. You want to hold this and maybe have your wife hold the photograph? Will that work? We're going to go up to the dial. All right, come on up. Would you like to hold the photograph for the picture? All right, you bet. You just come right back. You may want to have some folks filling behind us maybe.